What's up everyone, and welcome to my back porch sitting, and enjoy some of the nature sounds that might pop up with this. But I have something really cool I want to show today. I had a company reach out to me that I was super excited about and offered to send me something, and yeah, I'll tell you why I was so excited about that particular company. But without further ado, we have the Spyderco Shaman. Now this particular variant is from Blade HQ. You have your M4 blade that's DLC coated, and then you have your green canvas micarta scales. Now the reason I was so excited when Blade HQ had reached out to me is because when I first got into EDC, Blade HQ was the main website I used to buy knives. I bought my first bug out from there, mini bug out, pair 3, just so many to name. But I used that site so much because it had super fast shipping, no hassle return policy, and they just had such a large selection. And then oftentimes if you buy $50 worth of stuff, $120 worth of stuff, they added a free item in there, which I appreciated because I love pocket trash and other stuff like that. So yeah, it was super awesome when Blade HQ reached out, and super excited to show this knife to you guys because this is actually a knife that I've wanted for a while. I've just never pulled the trigger on. So let's talk about it. Now I have a Shaman in the G10 version with the stonewashed, and the first thing I noticed with this particular version is how light it is, and I personally really like that because you already have a hefty size here with the knife, so that little bit of reduced weight really helped me because I feel like I can pocket it a lot easier. Still, obviously it's brand new, so still kind of breaking in, as sometimes you have to do, especially with a knife like this that's on washers. But yeah, I really like this. So let's just show some of the other stuff. Box. And then it wouldn't be Blade HQ without some stickers. So yeah, really enjoying this knife so far. I've had it in my possession for about 3 days, and I have just been carrying it around the house and opening and closing it like crazy. So yeah, M4 is a super tough steel. I do live in a very humid state. I live in a southern humid state, but with this DLC coating on here, I'm not really that worried about the corrosion resistance because, just quite frankly, if I'm going to use my knife on something like that, I'll wipe it off right after I use it. And you have this coating that also helps protect and increase that corrosion resistance. But this is a super tough steel, so the fact that they put the M4 on the Shaman, I think is perfect because this is a heavy duty knife. This is a knife that you put in your hand and it just feels capable. So I think the M4 on this is super cool. So of course you can thumb roll, you have your compression lock back here, spotty flick, and eventually once you break these in, you can when you press the compression lock in, it should just drop. I loosened the pivot just a tiny bit, but I want it to break in naturally, so I didn't loosen the pivot, mainly because I just don't want to introduce blade play. So that's why it's not drop shut yet, or whatever you'd say. So yeah, so I'll show a few close-ups of it and we'll talk about it. But super excited. Thank you to Blade HQ for sending this out, and really liking it so far. And oh yeah, one more add-on before we go to close-ups. But another really fun thing about this knife to me is because of the size, this is one of those knives that if I bring it out or take it out of my pocket in front of a friend or something, they're like, whoa. They're just not expecting it because of the size and the heft and just the good looks. So this is one of those knives where I enjoy bringing it out because it's kind of one of those knives that people are like, dang, a knife person knows this knife, and then a non-knife person, and it's just like, whoa, that's a big knife. But it kind of has that wow factor, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah. All right, now for the close-ups. Let's go over some specs here. So we have an overall length of 8.29 inches, a blade length of 3.62 inches, a cutting edge of 3.14 inches. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty long cutting edge there compared to your average EDC knife. You have CPM M4 steel that we've already touched on, blade style drop point blade. You've got a flat grind. Handle length is 4.67 inches. That is on the longer side for me, but still fits my hand comfortably. Have some hanging off if I choke up, or I can even hold it like this. And then you can do tip up, tip down carry, left or right handed pocket clip. Of course it's manual, thumb hole, compression lock, all that fun stuff. So I'm sure most of you are familiar, but the compression lock is just a lock back here. You press on this back here, and then that's what closes your blade. So some people call the Shaman a finger pincher, and this is why. So when you press this in and the blade is coming into the closed position, if you don't have your finger in a certain spot, it get hit by that point right there. So a lot of words to just say, if you keep your finger right here, when that blade closes, it's gonna hit your finger. So fun thing to do is just trying to keep it up more, so when that closes, it doesn't make contact with your finger. So now as far as the weight, this is 4.9 ounces, this version. Now, this G10 version that I have that's stone washed, that is 5.2 ounces. So you do have a little bit of weight reduction going with the canvas micarta scales. Now as far as price, so the G10 stone wash is listed on here as $231, and your Shaman Exclusive over here is $259. So it's kind of up to personal opinion. Do you think the price is worth it? Personally, I do, but I'm a big fan of micarta. And I just like how the coated blade looks with that green. And I don't oil my micarta. I let it wear in naturally. I like the patina look. So over time, and you can tell on the back right there, it's starting to already take some oil from my hands. Over time, this will get darker. So that darker green with the black blade, I really like. So personally, you know, $30 price difference, I think it's worth it. Just my personal opinion. Will you think it's worth it? I don't know. You could always return it, right? If you don't like it, that's the good thing. So that's just a few differences here. And I'll just show those side by side again, because I feel like the Shaman is a knife that a lot of people do own. A lot of people do have the standard version. So I was just trying to show them side by side here, so you know, you can just have a little visual there. So let's do size comparisons of the Exclusive Shaman, okay? So, per usual, I always throw this one in here. You have the Atom, pretty similar in size. We have the PM2. And let's go Benchmade Bug Out full size. Looking a little mini there, huh? And let's go Hogue Doug Ritter. And one more. We have the Para 3. So there's just a few size comparisons for you. Now, does this take up a lot of pocket space? Yes. Is this a knife I would highly recommend for any outdoor activities, hiking, backpacking? Yes. Would I even recommend it for EDC? That depends on how deep your pockets are. If you don't mind something that takes up a lot of pocket room, then go for it. I've mentioned this priorly. If I'm carrying a knife, that's the only thing in my pocket. So this wouldn't really bother me because it's going to be the only thing that's in that right front pocket. Everything else I disperse amongst my other pockets. Of course, you have your typical Spyderco clip. So it's not deep carry, it's going to show. They do make deep carry clips for the Shaman. I'm one of those people, I'll carry it like this for a while. If I ever want to switch it up, just have a slightly different look and feel to it, I'll get the deep carry clip. So there you go with that. And of course, with the compression lock, you can still, if you're out in public, you know, grab hold, two-hand open it. You're not scaring anyone. Well, you still might with how big this is, but you know, you can still two-hand open and close it as well as far, and also, you know, your one-handed manipulation. That is just nice. When I first got it, I mentioned I loosened the pivot just a tiny bit because it did come super tight, but that's not uncommon with Shamans. This other one that I have right here also came super tight. I think that's just how they are from factory. So I loosened this pivot just like a teensy tiny bit. And now I'm gonna let it just break in naturally. And then of course, if I ever do maintenance, I'll just add some Loctite to the specified spot that I feel is good with no blade play and still good action. So how do I feel overall about this exclusive? Well, I'm sure you could already have guessed this. I really like it. Your typical Shaman, you do have, you know, your finger pinching issues, depending on where you're holding the compression lock. And, you know, it's a little stiff when it first comes out of the box. But overall, this is an amazing exclusive. The micarta feels good. It feels grippy. I haven't gotten it wet, but micarta dries super fast. It just gets grippier when wet. So it's got a good grip to it. I think this micarta was well done. Really like the all black accents with that green canvas micarta. It just looks really good to me. And then of course, you can create your own patina on the handle, and with time, you'll also get some patina on your DLC blade if you don't clean it off. So all in all, I really like this exclusive. I think this is a Shaman to get if you are into Shamans. If you've tried one before and you like it, I would definitely recommend getting this exclusive. If you're on the fence about it and have never tried one, as long as you like micarta, I think this is 110% the way to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this review and my rambling, and let me know what you think about it in the comments. Once again, shout out to Blade HQ. That was a really awesome moment getting that message. It just felt full circle for me in my EDC journey. So really appreciate it, and hope you guys have a great evening, morning, night, whatever it is in your time zone.